Alrighty, fanboys and fangirls, Apple is reportedly refreshing the iPhone SE next year, which is no surprise, but the biggest surprise is the 2023 model, which is going to be a bigger display, but is rumored to feature a punch hole instead of a notch, and it raises the question, is this the start of the end for the notch? I will explain why it is and it also isn't. Also on today's episode, we have more information on the refreshed Apple TV that we know is reportedly coming soon. I have more information to give you. And lastly, Google is working on a cheaper Pixel Buds alternative, and I am going to explain to you why it is a very smart thing that Google is doing by playing the field, but also giving a more appreciative approach to their lineup. All that on today's episode, so stay tuned. YouTube, what's poppin'? Michael here. Welcome back to Technoid. I hope you're doing well. I hope you all are staying safe. Today's episodes are going to be filled with 3 stories, but one of them is a very big story, so I'm going to spend a lot of time on that. But again, guys, welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Now, if you enjoy the content, you enjoy what I bring to the table, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you do not miss when I upload. All that out of the way, let's get it going. Alrighty, the first story up, let's talk about that iPhone SE refresh. Now, this story is somewhat in a 2-part sequence because there is a refresh happening according to Ming Chi Kuo and other analysis, but then there's another variant that I had talked about in a long time ago episode when I was just in my early days of figuring out Technoid. You know, I talked about this model and said that Apple was going to make an SE model where it would be a plus variant, and I said that if I had to bank my dollars, it would be around 2022. While I did get the year wrong, I was right on my hunch, because according to Ross Young, who is an analytic on the field, he goes out and says that Apple's LCD iPhone leak, we are hearing that the next LCD iPhone SE will remain at a 4.7-inch display in 2022, confirming that the only thing that will be refreshed in the phone is the specs. So that's not the most important thing in this story. The main thing is what he says next. Some rumors is that they will have 5G with sub 6 as well. We are also hearing that a 6.1 version will be released in 2023 with a punch hole rather than a notch. Now let me explain to you guys, this is a rumor, this is something that I do not like to take lightly, so I made sure to check on this man, Ross Young, to make sure he was a credible source, and after looking at his credentials, I can safely say that he is a very reliable source as he has over 25 years of record on file, so I am going to take his report very seriously, but I am going to again stress it, this is a rumor, not a confirmation, this is a rumor. But let me tell you why I strongly believe this rumor. Number one, we have known for a while that Apple has been wanting to put a full display iPhone in their lineup. We've been hearing it for a while. We know that Face ID is going to stay around, we know all that, but we've also known that Apple doesn't want to remove Touch ID. Now, anyone and their mother knows that Touch ID is the more convenient method. While it may not be the most secure, as you probably bought into the marketing of Face ID, Touch ID is more faster, it is more quicker, and most of all, it helps cut down on cost, especially for Apple. And that's one of the reasons why they implemented Touch ID on the iPad Air, to help keep the cost down. But Apple doesn't want to remove it as they continue to put Touch ID in some devices, as of course the MacBooks. So by making this device a punch hole display, you keep the Touch ID, but you also add a better display for the iPhones while retaining it an LCD display. Now the question asked, is this going to be the start of the end for the notch? And I say no, and I also say yes. Yes, because the cheaper models will be the start of things to come in the future. However, I say no because, as I mentioned before, Apple has gone all in on Face ID. They cannot just backtrack it, they can't get rid of it. Face ID is here to stay, and they're not going to stop. Now, it would be something different if it was an experimental feature where they were trying it out on several products and they were just trying it. But no, Apple has gone full in on facial recognition as the next big thing, as there are already reports talking about them trying to bring it to the Macs. So even if Touch ID is still their preferred method and Apple knows it, it's still not going to erase Face ID altogether. So it is great to see that if this report is true, that we finally have a full screen iPhone with a punch hole, and then we see how Apple does with their punch hole display. But with that said though, I again do not think that this is going to be the replacement for Face ID, but I will say this and mark today's date, April 2nd, I am saying if Apple makes this device in 2023, and I will look back 2 years from now, if they make this device, it is going to be the best-selling iPhone besides all the other phones. It will be the best-selling phone. Budget, no budget, a full-screen iPhone, everybody's gonna jump for it, mark my words. We'll see you in 2 years. Alrighty, story number 2, let's discuss more about that Apple TV. Now, a couple of episodes ago, I talked about how the remote was basically the start of this new refresh, and more people have come out with more evidence, and one of the biggest evidence is that Apple has revamped their internals reference. They are referencing B519, the designation compared to B439, which was given to the current Siri remote. Now, Apple hasn't really given anything beyond code names, but it does show and build on the rumor that a redesigned remote could be launched alongside a refreshed Apple TV. Now, this refreshed remote was sort of pictured on 9 to 5 Max, but after taking a look at more details, this was a cable remote that it seems that they were building for somebody else, but again, knowing Apple, I don't know who they would give this remote to, but regardless, this just adds to the rumors and also on top of the betas and other things in the support codes that we are seeing. Now, when will this Apple TV be released? We don't have a projected launch, but if I were to take an honest bet, I would probably say in the fall, but who knows, maybe WWDC. You never know, stranger things have happened. And last story, let's talk about those Google Pixel Buds. Now, the Pixel Buds are probably the best Android earbuds money can buy you, with the exception of the Galaxy Buds. And Google has been trying to get a lot more people into this device, and it looks like they're gonna go in a different route because according to 9 to 5 Google, their next wireless earbuds are going to be the Pixel Buds A. Basically, this will be a cheaper version of the Pixel Buds. While they will most likely contain the same earbuds that we have seen, they will, however, have a more cheaper build material. They will also have more colors, but it will also be a plastic design versus a metal design. Well, actually, I think that might have been a typo on the error because if memory serves me correctly, the cases are plastic anyway. But taking a look more down further, it says here that the one thing that it will be different about these buds is it will not feature wireless charging, and that if Google is going to make these their new, it will be a more affordable option and get more people into them. Now, the regular Galaxy Buds retail for $179. The rumored price point for these are not out yet, but speculations have led to a $129, $139 respectively. I don't think it's going to be that low, but honestly, a cheaper Pixel Bud is a very good option for Google because you can keep the Pixel Buds, your current flagship headphones, then make a cheaper version with similar specs, but of course to cut corners in some areas, but also giving the same features and same everything that you would get in the Pixel Buds, which is again something that I think OnePlus and other companies are starting to get a hold, everybody except Samsung. But overall, I think that this is a great thing for Google, and I am excited to see what they do in the future. So let me know your thoughts down below about this news story. And that is it for today's episode of Technoid. Now guys, really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, hit the dislike button. That helps circulate my videos as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all on the weekend. Again, 2 episodes coming this weekend. I will see you all in the morning. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care, stay safe, and peace!